Well, welcome back to the channel. I just got back from Married with Small Engines, and I really don't know what I've done here. Trading this chainsaw for this high quality Champion generator. Oh god, it's heavy. Was going to use some ramps to unload this thing, but I don't know. I feel like I should probably just get something that has forks on it. Well, the story I got on this fine specimen was that it would run for so long and then quit. I see the carburetor's been played with and spark plug's unhooked. So I'm going to assume that the issue is going to be in the carb, but let's work through it bit by bit. One thing I've always found with these any of like the Hondas or anything that has like the oil alert is that if they're low on oil, they won't run properly. And I've seen Hondas and clones run for a bit and then end up quitting because the oil's low. There's lots of oil in this, so let's dive into her a little deeper here. Looks like there's a little bit of gas in there, not very much. Well, now that I got that other one unloaded, let's get back to this thing. I noticed the carb's loose, so snug that back up. I'm just gonna see if it'll run on brake cleaner. See if it's gonna run long enough to even bother going any deeper into this. I'm gonna unhook this line off of here. Oh, look at the gunk in it. I think I'm gonna end up probably pulling the tank and the carburetor and see what we're into. See what the inside looks like. The fuel tank smells pretty bad. I don't assume that this carburetor is in very good shape. That plunger moves. I've seen that stick before. Looks relatively clean in here. And there's definitely some gunk in the inlet. Get this seal picked out of here. Set that out of the way, set the needle out of the way. So I don't destroy those. Looks like there's a bit of gunk in the main jet. Normally what I do with these guys is I just use a wire brush bristle. I just make sure that orifice is nice and clean. The O-ring looks a little messed up on that. I don't have a spare one, so I just jam it back in here. Yeah, that should push in, but it doesn't seem to want to. I'm gonna have to see about getting some of these O-rings. Just put it back together though. I got it jammed in. So just make sure all the holes are clean in this. I'm gonna have to get a gasket set for this, but we'll see if it'll run. You gotta be cautious with using cleaner on like the needles and seats and all the rubber parts, because I've seen on the Briggs ones they swell up and then they don't seal properly anymore if you leave them soaking in brake cleaner or carb cleaner. I'm just going to wash this out. I've seen these guys stick before as well. Okay, now that I got the carburetor back together, I'm going to pull this fuel tank off. Well, the filter looks all right. I'm going to pull that bottom bowl off and see what it looks like inside of there. Well, it doesn't look like there's any water or anything inside of there, so. Well, there's quite a bit of gunk in here. Yeah, it seems like it's holding back quite a bit of pressure here. I think I've got a new one of these. So even in the open position, if I blow on this thing, it seems pretty plugged inside of here. So normally inside of these Honda shutoffs, there's like a rubber washer that has, I forget if it's 2 or 4 holes. I think it's 2 holes, but normally they swell up, especially if you know, the wrong type of fuel gets put in it. But I did some digging through the hoard here, and my grandfather bought this thing about probably 10 years ago for $3 from the old Princess Autos. So we'll see. This might just be the solution here. I got that line shoved on, and you can hear how well that blows through there. So I'll just quickly take this thing apart and see if I can break it. Yeah, it looks a lot cleaner inside of there, so this might be the solution. Well, let's hook this other valve directly to this line, and I'll show you, I think, how much flow we were getting out of this. You can see there's a decent amount of flow coming out of there. It's in the on position, and see, not getting very much out of there. Hopefully that's where the problem lies. I think it is. Well, let's see if it'll run. Well, I just realized that this thing has a fuel shutoff solenoid on it, so I'm hoping that I've hooked the battery charger to it. I'm hoping that that'll be enough to activate this fuel shutoff solenoid so it'll start. Worst case, I'll just spray some brake cleaner in it and just put 12 volts right to this thing. Okay, well, what I've seemed to have discovered here is I got my meter, and so these are the wires that go to the fuel shutoff solenoid, or the afterfire solenoid. So when the engine shuts off, this valve closes, and it doesn't fill the exhaust full of basically raw fuel and then ignite afterwards. But normally, your ignition switch will, in the off position, it grounds the coil, and then in the on position, it applies power to this fuel shutoff solenoid, and then in the start position, it'll apply power to the shutoff solenoid, the fuel shutoff solenoid, as well as the starter. But these are the wires that go to that were connected to this. And in the on position with the battery charger on here, I don't seem to be seeing any voltage. And when I shut this off, I see the voltage jumps up a little bit. And then when I hit the start position, the battery's so dead that the starter won't run, but the battery charger is enough to run the solenoid. So I'm going to get some wiring diagrams and take a gander and try and decipher what goes where, and see if there's just an issue with the wiring. So the discovery I think I've made is I was able to go online and get a wiring diagram, and what I seem to see here is that there is a separate winding that goes to which appears to be a bridge rectifier, which looks like it has a second terminal, which I assume would be for like a battery charging feature. And I couldn't seem to wrap my brain around at first why the ignition switch was set up that it doesn't apply power to, like in the on position, it doesn't apply power to this coil. And then I got to thinking, I'm like, this looks like an awfully new carburetor. So, I happened to reach out to Tyler, and sure enough, he's like, yeah, I put a carburetor on that. And at the particular time, Champion's site was down, yada, yada, yada. So I'm assuming this is just an Amazon carburetor or something along the lines of that. And he seemed to tell me that he wasn't able to easily get the proper carb for this, and even on the Champion website, they don't offer this carburetor for this particular generator. So I got to thinking, this is set up that the fuel shutoff solenoid is only applied. The fuel shutoff solenoid is only applied when it's in the off position, and since the bridge rectifier is fed from a separate winding, this would only stay on long enough to basically shut the generator off, and that's as far as it goes. So that's good to know here, that I'm pretty sure that this is the wrong solenoid, which it should be backwards. It should be, you would have to apply power to it in order to shut it off. So I'm going to shut the fuel off here. I'm going to run the fuel out of it, and while I'm running the fuel out of it, I'm going to check when I hit the off switch if I see voltage at these terminals. It applies power to shut off. well, that adds up. So then what this could tell me is that if I unhook coil, I should be able to hook this thing up backwards and it may run. Intriguing. Yeah, this solenoid is backwards to what it should be. It should want to extend when you apply power to it, but this one retracts. So I've got some more generator carbs kicking around here. I'll see if I got something. So I went out to my hoard and I found a carb of a Honda generator that just needs a carb clean. But this one appears to be the same deal, that it's you have to apply power for it to the solenoid for it to retract. So I think I'm dead in the water right now for this. I'm gonna have to get on the Scamazon and see about ordering the right carburetor or a fuel shutoff solenoid that operates the opposite to this. Well, something that I should probably do before I order any parts for this, because I need to get a battery as well as the part for the carburetor. I've got the grinder here. I'm going to make sure that it puts out power. Because in my opinion, some of this stuff, like if it doesn't generate power and it's not something simple, I probably wouldn't, sink a pile of money into one of these things. Well, it makes power. Reading 58 hertz, so it's not that far to whack. Well, I'm gonna put this one on the back burner until I can get some parts, and once I've got parts for it, then put it back together. Well, my second carburetor finally came in here. That the solenoid is opposite to what this had on it before. As you can see, when you put power to them, the silver one retracts where the gold one extends. So I need to put this gold one on it. This carb's different, of course, so I couldn't just put the whole thing on. But I had to take the bowl nut, or the bolt for the bowl, because it's different from one solenoid to another, of course. So I should just be able to put this new solenoid on, and we'll be back in business. Well, I got the air cleaner all put back together, as well as I changed the oil on it, and everything seems to be working pretty good now, so well, I don't think that was too bad of a deal. You know, all I had to really buy was the carburetor for the parts, and just clean everything up and replace the battery. But on to the next one, I guess. Thanks for watching.